Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected viewers and dear students, this is a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening according to the location you live in. Assalamu alaikum. In today's session, we are going to talk about a new topic, that is power and leadership. So as the name implies, in this topic we are going to have, you can say, connection between the concept of power and different types and sources of power with a special reference to the word leadership. So if you proceed further, you can say that the very first question arises, what do we mean by the word power? In a very simple sense, we must need to understand that a leader must need to have power in case if he or she would like to exercise his influence down the hierarchy. So the main objective of understanding of this power is that why there is a need to have power and under what circumstances people tend to go for this kind of power activities. So whenever we talk about the word power, it means the potential or ability of an individual to influence the decision making or decisions, and above all to control the resources. So in short, whenever we use the word you can say power as well as authority, so whenever we use the word power, it means this is the ability to influence, and whenever we talk about the authority, it clearly refers to the right to influence. So two things, power and authority. Power is the ability to influence and the authority is the right to influence. Now there are a number of sources of organizational power. Particularly in this session we are concentrating on the power normally people tend to exercise in organizational context in particular. So organizational power may be derived from many different sources. The first one is the position oriented power, means all those kind of power which is vested in a particular position of an individual, of a leader, for instance. So under the heading of position power, we have three different types. The first one is legitimate power, the second one is reward power, and the third one is the coercive power. Let me describe each of these three with the different examples. The first one is legitimate power. For example, I am the chief executive officer of an organization, of a particular business unit, for example, or as the head of control of operation or the chief financial officer. So that means by virtue of this position, I have the authority to make certain decision which is vested or which is absorbed by this particular position. Similarly, if you are the head of human resources department or functional area, so it means you have certain inbuilt you can say authorities or power which is vested in your position. Similarly, if you are you can say the program coordination department head, so you have the complete responsibility as well as certain level of, you can say, authority. Normally you are empowered from the top management so that you can make different decisions, you can control over different organizational resources, particularly within the jurisdiction of your program coordination. So whenever we talk about the word legitimate power, it means the power which is because of the chair on which you sit in the organization. Okay, I repeat, legitimate power is, in simple words, it means the power or the ability to influence others' decision or control over the resources which is just because of the position. Let me give you a very interesting example from a country. On ethical grounds, I am not highlighting the name of the country, but this is a developing country, a very good example. The head of a state is the president of that country, and for example, if somebody is sentenced to death by the Supreme Court of that developing country, so side by side we have a very interesting scenario in that particular developing country, that the head of a state, that is the, you can say, the president of the country, is in fact he has got the legitimate power to convert, I repeat, he has got the legitimate power, means the power just because of the chair the person holds in that particular institution or in the particular country I am talking about. In our case, the president of the country, he has got the authority to convert the death sentence into the life imprisonment. Okay, so this is because of the you can say power or authority which is vested in that particular position. In a very simple words, for example, if the person is no more sitting on that, or is not you can say is no more resuming that particular position as the head of a state. And for example, if you are the head of a state, so in that particular situation, what is going to happen? In that particular situation, you will be given all of those you can say authority and power which is given to the previous one. So it clearly explains that the you can say the authority is not given to the individual, rather it is given to a particular chair, a position. So that's why this is known as position power. Okay. The second one is the very interesting, that is reward power. What happens, for example, let me give you a very good example from pharmaceutical companies in a number of countries, maybe developed or developing, or maybe you can say underdeveloped countries, for example. So in that particular situation, the national sales manager, for example, is a NSM, or national sales manager, is having this authority to give rewards, especially to those people who are doing a very good marginal sale, or you can exceptional sales. So this is because the annual budget is assigned to the person, and that particular person is actually the authorized person or the signatory of the person. In fact, the signatory, that the person is responsible to give you certain rewards. If you compare and contrast this kind of position power in a number of organizational contexts, in majority of the situations or cases or scenarios, you will identify your departmental manager, they may have legitimate power, that is the power based on the chair the person is sitting on. But in most of the cases, the person does not have the authority to give rewards, particularly the tangible rewards, just the cash rewards or bonuses, etc., to name the few. So you will not identify in a majority of the situation that the people, they are not going to give you rewards in this kind of situations. The third very interesting, and this is also applicable or in a number of different types of organization, that is the coercive power. The word coerce means to punish something or to penalize somebody. So this is the inbuilt capability of the position, or you can say of a particular manager, that the person has you can say the ability to coerce someone or to penalize someone. Under what circumstances the person is going to exercise this kind of power is quite simple to comprehend. That, for example, if you have assigned somebody to please go outside or maybe outside the country, work on this project and submit me the deliverables by that particular deadline, which is already stipulated to you. But in case you are working there, you return without completing or accomplishing the assignment, it means as a result the manager is authorized to penalize you, and the way the person is going to penalize you may be different in different scenarios. Okay. Another very important topic in you can say in the context of leadership in light of power, that is from where people get these powers. In simple words, power is stemming from where. A very interesting thing, people get the power from, especially for those people who are dependent on you. For example, in this scenario, you can say this is the excuse me, this is the dependence theory of power. It means, for example, there is person number 1 or person A and person number B. So person number B is depending on person A in a particular task. For example, I don't know statistical you can say application softwares, and I'm depending on you. So when person B is depending on you, so definitely I'm looking forward to have your attention, looking forward to have your suggestions, and definitely I'm going to abide by the principles that is going to lay down to me. The point is that I'm going to, at this position, I'm not depending on you. So when I'm going to depend on you, then definitely you will be having an inbuilt power on me. So the way you are going to manipulate my circumstances, you will be empowered at that time. Okay, so in majority of the cases, when people are going to be dependent on somebody, the person is going to take advantage for it. So this is a kind of, you can say, power in most of the cases stemming from the dependencies. To cut the long story short, you can identify in a majority of software houses, you can say in majority of the multinational corporations, or even in public sector, the person, for example, is having a very good contacts with somebody, and you need that particular contact. So definitely you are going to depend on that person, and as a result the person is having the power on you, and the person, as a result, in majority of the scenario, the person is going to take advantage out of it. So this is a kind of, you can say, dependence theory of power.